lima, lento, soy, and pinto, navy, northern, and garbanzo, kidneys, and frijoles negros. I love beans.
The first step is to place 2 large sweet potatoes in the oven. Now you'll want to roast your sweet potatoes in an oven that's 375 degrees until they're very, very soft. When they're larger sweet potatoes like this, you might need a little bit longer, an hour to an hour and 15. Be sure to poke those sweet potatoes a couple of times with a fork to make sure that all the juices can leak out naturally and that they don't explode in the oven. Now, I've already done this. I already have 2 sweet potatoes that have been baked and they are slightly cooled so that I can handle them. I always roast everything on parchment paper so that it's easier to remove and there's less cleanup. All right, I'm gonna set this aside for now. The very first step after putting the potatoes in the oven is to create your egg replacer. So I have a half a tablespoon of ground flaxseed mixed with 1.5 tablespoons of water. You wanna let this sit and get gel-like, and that will be your egg replacer in these patties. Next, you take 1 cup of chickpeas. I get the canned kind and I just rinse them off. Place them into a bowl. Take a potato masher like this one, and you wanna mash it so that it's mostly smooth. It's okay to have a little bit of texture left. I actually like that myself, something like this when it's done. And you wanna take your sweet potato. It's cool enough to handle now. Take a knife, run it down the center, open it up. Oh, look at that, glorious. I love sweet potatoes, they're so good. You want about 1.5 cups. Get it in there, make sure you don't get any peel in there. You just want the soft center part. All right, about 1.5 cups of sweet potato in our bowl. Then we're gonna add just a few more ingredients. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. You can do whole wheat, gluten-free, or just regular breadcrumbs, doesn't matter. Next, we're gonna add 3 different spices. We're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic powder, ground cinnamon, which actually really helps pull out the flavor of the sweet potato. Then 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of finely chopped white or yellow onion. Now, it seems like such a small amount, but it really makes a difference in the flavor and the texture, so don't leave it out if you can. 1 tablespoon of onion. You need 2 tablespoons of the dry quick oats. And the last thing is that egg replacer that we created earlier, the ground flaxseed mixed with the water. That's going in. Now we just stir it all together. You really want to make sure everything mixes really well so that we get lots of the flavor of the spices and the sweet potato all mixed in throughout. The last step is to form our patties. So we can make 4 out of this recipe. Divide it into 4. Okay. All right, and now this last step can be skipped, but I highly recommend it, so I wouldn't. You take your patties and you dip them in more breadcrumbs, just like this, both sides, and what this does is it creates a nice texture on the exterior of our patties. Okay, I'm gonna turn on our heat to medium-high. We let these cook for about 5 to 7 minutes on each side. They're gonna be nice and golden brown and crispy when they're ready to flip over. In the meantime, let's make our maple Dijon sauce. Now you want equal parts Dijon mustard with maple syrup. So I do about 1/3 cup of each. It's really hard to mess this up because these 2 ingredients offer so much flavor that even if it's a little bit off on the measurement, it's still gonna be really good. Even for those who aren't big mustard fans, this is still a sauce that will win them over. I think I could actually use a little bit more maple syrup. That maple syrup really balances out the flavors. As far as toppings go on these burgers, I really keep it simple because there's so much flavor between the sweet potato and the chickpeas and the sauce and the spices. You really don't need much else. I just prepped a little bit of lettuce and some sliced tomato, and that's it. It adds a little bit of freshness, a little bit of sweetness from the tomato. It really helps balance out the flavors. So our toppings are ready to go. Aside from that, all we need is some buns. You can keep them as is. You don't have to do a thing to them, but I actually like to put them on the grill so they have a little bit of a toast on each side. Let's go check on our burgers. Now, if you wanted to put these on the grill, you definitely could. I would just recommend cooking them ahead of time and then simply reheating them on the grill. And that way they're less likely to fall apart. That's pretty much how it goes with any veggie burger, really. The other great thing about this recipe is that if you wanted to serve these as an appetizer, you certainly could. You just serve them as little cakes with the sauce on the side, and it's a fantastic appetizer. Another 5 minutes on this side. Oh boy, I can't wait. These smell so good. All right, I think this one is about ready. Yes, it's perfect. Look at that color. When it's nice and brown like this, it'll add some nice texture. I'm gonna go put this one on my plate right now. It's actually a lot easier if you put the sauce on the top bun. That way it won't drip everywhere. Okay, looks good. And that's it. Let's put it together. Give it a nice slice. Right down the center. There we go. Ah, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? You can see the sweet potato in there, the beans, the lettuce and tomato. I'm gonna take a bite right now. Oh man, that is so good. You're really gonna wow your friends and family with this recipe. All right, you start with 2.5 cups of non-dairy milk. I'm a big fan of almond milk, but I also love cashew, and then I'll also switch it up and use some oat milk, which is gaining a lot of popularity these days as well. So our next ingredient is a little funky, but you gotta hear me out, because it's a fantastic shake ingredient. Ready? Canned white beans. They are great because they're very, very neutral in flavor. They can blend in with a shake and they're hidden in there, but you still get the added nutrients from those beans. You get the fiber and the protein and the B vitamins. No need for protein powder whatsoever because you're getting plenty of protein in these beans. So here's the key though. You gotta make sure that your beans contain 0 salt. Otherwise your shake will be a little funky. All right, so we have a 1/2 cup of white beans that came in a can. They've been drained and rinsed. Next, we want some dates, 2 to 3 pitted dates. This will add our sweetness for us. Next, we need 2 cups of frozen mixed berries. I like using mixed berries because they have the dark blue from the blackberry and the blueberry, but you also get the nice tones of red, which is what helps make them purple. You can just do straight blueberries if you like, that's an option, but your shake will probably turn out more bluish than purple. Next, we have 1 cup of frozen spinach. All right, you can always add more if you like, but you want a minimum of 1 cup. So 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. It really adds a nice element of flavor to those shakes, but if you're new to adding apple cider vinegar to your smoothies and shakes, maybe just start with 1 tablespoon to start. I think that's it. 6 simple ingredients in the blender. Put our lid on. Okay, purple and gorgeous. Now let's see if it's delicious. I have my nice pink and white paper straw. It's the little details that count, right? This recipe makes 2 very large servings, enough for the whole family, or you can double up and make 2 shakes, 1 for today and 1 for tomorrow. It'll keep in the fridge just fine. Oh yeah, that's super tasty. All you can taste is berries, really. It's so sweet and tangy and delicious. I give these shakes to my toddlers all the time and they love them, especially because it's cold and sweet and purple, of course. Actually, those beans add a really nice creaminess. And if you want it just a little bit sweeter, all you do is blend it again with 1 or 2 more dates. With this recipe, we're literally just dumping a bunch of ingredients into a food processor. First ingredient, chickpeas, aka garbanzo beans. Now before we drain and rinse them, we want to reserve about 4 tablespoons of the liquid from the can. Just pour it right in there. It might get a little messy, that's okay. The food processor first. And then once that's done, we can drain and rinse those beans. Give them a nice rinse. Shake off that excess water, and then into the food processor. Just like that. Next, we have our sun-dried tomatoes. Now, I like to get the sun-dried tomatoes that are in a jar packed with oil, just because they are more tender and they seem to work better in the food processor, but I don't want a lot of that excess oil that's in the jar. So what I do is I just lift them out of the jar using a fork so that we leave as much of the oil behind as possible. They're going in. I love sun-dried tomatoes. They're so flavorful, so delicious. Next, we have some lemon juice. A little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt just to help round out the flavors a bit. Now tahini, this is a very common ingredient for hummus. It's actually sort of like a peanut butter but made from sesame seeds. Has a very nutty flavor but almost a little bit of a bitterness too. Works really well in recipes. I wouldn't really recommend eating it all on its own unless you like that kind of thing. It's up to you. You can usually find tahini right near the peanut butter or almond butter in your grocery store, or you can easily find it online. Next we have some ground flaxseed. Kind of an unusual ingredient, something you wouldn't normally find in a hummus recipe for sure. I like it because it adds a little bit more of a body to the hummus, thickens things up a little bit, but also sneaks in some of those really important omega-3s, which are really hard to find in other foods. It's really one of the only ingredients out there that contains omega-3s, along with hemp seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, things like that. Next, we're gonna boost up our flavor with some cumin, I don't know, what do you think? And then finally, we have 2 garlic cloves. I'm just gonna give these a rough chop. Food processor will do most of the work with the garlic, but I'd like to help it out a little bit. Transfer this over. Now I have to say, if you're in a pinch and you don't have any garlic, you can use powdered garlic. You wanna do about a teaspoon or so. You can play it by ear, taste it, see what you think. Or you can even try it without the garlic entirely. I actually think the fresh type really adds a lot, so I always try and go that route when I can. That's it. So now all we do is blend. Okay, now you need to let it blend for quite a while, about 1 to 2 minutes, in order to get those sun-dried tomatoes fully incorporated, and then you get this bright, gorgeous orange color. I'm gonna give it a little taste. This is the time that you want to check for salt level, see if it needs a little bit more lemon juice. I think that's really great the way it is, so let's go ahead and spoon it up. Scrape the sides, make sure there's no large chunks of anything. You want to make sure that garlic is fully incorporated, and of course the sun-dried tomatoes, you don't want any chunks. Okay, I'm really happy with how this is looking. And I have to say, if you do like your hummus a little thinner, you can always add a little bit more water, or you can add a dash or 2 of some olive oil. Nice pretty bowl here. Just scoop it right in. It makes a pretty big batch actually. I'd say 1 or 2 cups here. Look at that, ooh, that's pretty. And then if you are serving this as an appetizer for your friends, I like to make a little well right in the middle. And then take a couple more of those sun-dried tomatoes and place them right on top. It kind of lets people know what flavors they can be expecting. Now I call them snack shakes because I don't want to confuse them with dessert shakes. Very different. Snack shakes are something you can have every day. They're delicious, they have healthier ingredients, but yet this one is chocolatey and it still satisfies those sweet cravings. So simple to make, and you're not gonna believe one of the star ingredients. You would never guess it in a million years. We're gonna start with our non-dairy milk. I use almond or cashew, but you can use any type that you like. Now this recipe makes 2 really big servings. Cocoa powder, going in. Now for that mystery ingredient, black beans. Now this is where we're gonna get some protein, fiber, B vitamins, tons of nutrients, but the great news is you will never know they're there, just so long as you don't use any salted black beans. If you use canned beans, make sure there's 0 salt in the ingredients. They're gonna blend right in. You're gonna get all the nutrients of beans without even tasting them. And if you don't have black beans around, white beans work as well. Now for some sweetness, we're gonna use dates. I like to use about 4 in this recipe, but you can do more or less depending on the sweetness level that you prefer. The next thing we're adding is 2 bananas. Banana adds a nice creaminess to the shake, nice thickness. Now usually what I'll do is I'll freeze my bananas ahead of time. Just be sure you peel them first, and then you can store them either in a Ziploc bag or a storage container. Break it up into pieces, throw those in there. And finally we need some ice. You always want to make your ice the ingredient furthest away from your blades. Your blender will thank you. It'll be much easier to blend. Just trust me on that. And that's it. This is a great snack to serve to kids. You can add some spinach or a greens powder. If there's any sort of vitamin that you're trying to mix in there, if you don't live in a sunny area and you need a little extra vitamin D, sometimes I'll get the little drops and I'll add those in there. But this is a really great basic recipe for this awesome chocolate shake. Okay, You want it completely smooth so you don't see any dates or beans. Everything is completely mixed in and looks as gorgeous as this does. If you like more ice, you can always add more ice, especially if it's a warmer day outside. And I will say, sometimes when we feel like mixing up the breakfast routine in our house, or if we're in a hurry, or if anybody's being extra picky, like my son Jack tends to be, this is breakfast. It's nutritious, it's delicious, and you can feel good about it. All right, I'm gonna go for it. That's really, really good. I like adding just some mini chocolate chips to the top sometimes. Creates that extra little chocolatey bonus. So tasty. To find the full recipe on how to make these chocolatey snack shakes, jump on audreydunham.com. Thank you very much for joining me today. Please like and share this video and tag any friend who might like a chocolate snack shake. If you decide to try this recipe, please let me know what you think in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. Thanks again for joining me. I will see you next time. I often like to peel and then freeze bananas, and then that way when you throw them in the blender, they add a really rich, creamy. Hey there. No. I did that one time. I did aloha for that Hawaiian cookie. I'm like, I'm never doing that again. What was I thinking? Okay.